So my name is Matthew Alvarado. Thank you for the introduction. My topic today I'll be presenting on is how has marketing changed in the past decade within sports and how have the Dodgers adapted to these changes. My advisor and sponsor is Dr. Kathy Barlow. I would not be here today without her, and she got me through everything, so I definitely give it up to her. So I will start my presentation. So some key takeaways that we'll take away from my presentation tonight, as well as my paper, is social media and marketing. Social media is basically used today as the number one way to market sports teams, as well as companies. Marketing in the future and what it might look like at the stadium. Um, I will briefly touch on it in my presentation, but the stadium wants to have more engagement so they can attract more of the younger generational fans to come to the game, and what the changes will look like in the stadium in like a few years from now, and what we might see while we attend Dodger games presently. So why I chose this topic is because the type of career field I want to get into, I want to get into the creative content side, creating videos, promotional videos, creating a bunch of hype reels for the Dodgers. That is my dream goal. I do have experience. This previous last fall, I did work for Tiger Woods, and I helped edit his commercials as well as his social media content. That was a really fun time, and I was able to grow from that, and I hope I continue to grow from there. The passion I have for sports is really big. My teachers in high school and my professors at Whittier College have always told me to find an area that I truly love, and that is sports. I want to be involved in sports in my everyday life, and I hope that is what happens after college. And I'm a huge Dodger fanatic. If you guys don't know me, I'm probably one of the biggest Dodger fans you will meet. I like to study the players. I like to study statistics. Ask me anything, I'll pretty much answer anything. I'm a huge Dodger fan. So let's get into my presentation and what is social media marketing. Marketing is defined as 4 separate actions, according to the American Marketing Association. It is separated into creating a message, communicating the message, delivering the message, and creating customer value from that message. Over the past decade, we have seen a huge transition go from paper marketing to straight digital marketing, and that is because of the emergence of social network platforms. In 2017, social network platforms have hit the sports industry. As you can see to the figure to the left, the NBA in 2017 started live streaming games on Twitter. This attracted more fans to watch games and increased a lot. And in 2017 also, Yahoo had its first live stream of an NFL game. This got over 33.6 million video streams. So they are seeing more streams on these social network platforms versus actual cable network. Another big thing is how social media impacts colleges, sports teams, everything, everything in general. So as you can see to the figure to the left, TCU women's volleyball team, when they started using social media, they actually were able to increase attendance by 24% within 7 weeks. Also, they're also able to increase 40% of revenue, and that was just directly from social media. So social media has a huge impact on a lot of sports teams, and this is partly because of the amount of users that are on social media. According to Brian Dean, there's 3.96 billion people who are tapped into the social media network platforms now. So this has created a huge following for athletes like Cristiano Ronaldo, LeBron James, Messi, a whole bunch of athletes, and this allows fans to have more engagement with them and follow them closely versus just watching them live or watching them on TV. In a study I found while I was doing my research, it is a study of the effect of promotions on attendance at Major League Baseball games. This study was done by Anthony G. Berea, Kathleen Grubin, William Levernier, and basically what they did was study the attendance records and the factors that went into attendance records. So as you can see to the table above, there is the numbers of attendance records at games. As you can see, promotional giveaways is a huge impact. In this study, they stated that attendance increased over 25% when they gave something out versus when they didn't give something out. Other factors do include whether the game is during the day or whether the game is during the night or whether the game is during the week or whether the game is on the weekend. So attendance numbers do fluctuate for that reason in this study. So to talk a little bit more about promotions, I will be discussing the promotional items that they do give out at baseball games as well as other sports games. So here's a little picture of my collection of bobbleheads. I have over 150 bobbleheads, and this is a great way that I found out is how teams are marketing. Just because when I purchase tickets to attend these games, I find these ticket prices to be more higher than usual. So this is a great way for the teams to increase revenue. So you'll definitely find these bigger promotional items that people love to get, and it is a great way to attract more fans to the stadium. Like I did previously touch on some of the challenges before in the study, but some of the challenges I did study was not many people attend games when it's raining, and not many people attend games when it's super duper hot. So that is a great way for the marketing teams to figure out different ways, whether they add a promotion that day so they can attract more fans, or they get tapped into these what is called promotional nights that the Dodgers are taking over, as well as other sports teams. So as you can see, this is the 2019 schedule pre-COVID. The Dodgers did cater to many different groups, and it was either cultural or it was either specific to one group or even fan interest. So Filipino night was a great way for them to attract more Filipino fan base and hopefully increase their Filipino fans in their fan base. You also do have nights like USC night, UCLA night, Hello Kitty night. This was a great way for them to attract just people who are not into sports, but people who have other interests for them to attend the games. You really can't do marketing without branding. And one of the most important aspects in branding that I've did in my research is brand awareness. As you can see to the figure above, this is a picture of Frank McCourt, who owned the Dodgers. He purchased them in 2004. He was actually going through a lot of personal matters through 2011 to 2012, and many of the fans did not want to attend games for that reason, and as well as the league was going to disband the Dodgers until he sold the team. So this kind of brought up a negative connotation to the Dodgers, and they had to figure out how to um, find different ways to attract more fans for that manner. He ended up in 2011, the MLB ended up taking over the Dodgers team. And in 2012, the Dodgers were home to a new ownership group where they're currently. Another case, I don't know if you guys are familiar, but it is the Brian Stowe case. This was a Giants fan who was brutally beaten up by Dodger fans just because he was a Giants fan, and there was a lot of other factors into it. But this kind of brought a negative connotation to Dodger fans are violent and people don't want to attend those games. So this is something that they had to think about and think of different ways for other people to attend where they just know that like they show that Dodger fans aren't violent and they create a very safe environment. Another big aspect in branding is brand extension. Uh, as you guys can see, I chose Dodger Dogs. The Dodgers are not just a sports team, but they are tapped into the food industry. Dodger Dogs are one of the most famous Dodger traditions that people attend games for. A lot of people will just go to games just to buy a Dodger Dog and eat it. Also, Dodger Dogs are sold at your local convenience stores. So that is a great way for people to get involved with the Dodger organization as well. So a little bit of Dodgers history. They were established in 1890. They were home at Ebbets Field. One of the biggest accomplishments that they did was sign Jackie Robinson in 1940. They had 9 World Series appearances in Brooklyn. They won NL pennants in Brooklyn in 1941, 1947, 1949, 1952, and 1953. Later on, Walter O'Malley, who was the owner at the time, wanted to move the team to the West Coast. So he picked Elysian Park, where it is home today. And during the time, it was home to a lot of Hispanic people and Latinos who lived in the area. So he actually asked city officials for help and the government to forcefully remove them from their homes so he can buy the land and hopefully build Chavez Ravine, which is also known as Dodger Stadium. And Dodger Stadium opened in 1962. But being that he asked the city officials and government to do that, he had a very bad history with the Hispanic community, and they had to find different ways to actually attract these fans because they were still like around the area, the demographics were still Hispanic. So they had to find different motives and different ways to still attract these people to the stadium. So one of the biggest things was signing Mexican stars like Fernando Valenzuela, who played from 1980 to he emerged from 1980 to 1990. He was very successful. When he first got called up, he pitched 17 and two-thirds scoreless innings in relief for the Dodgers. He also started the season 8-0 with a .50 ERA. So that is one of the biggest things that helped Dodgers attract more fans because more of the Hispanic community was eager to watch him and his success train. It was also a trend called Fernando Mania during the time, so that was great for them. Another big aspect the Dodgers did was sign Jaime Jarin to Spanish commentate games. He moved with the team in 1958, and Dodgers are one of the only teams that actually has a live Spanish commentator during live gameplay. So that is another thing that they would hope that would attract the Latino fan base to the stadium. So Dodgers have had a lot of success in LA. As you can see, this is a picture where they won in the 1988 World Series. They've actually appeared in 12 World Series in LA, and they've had the most recent win, if you guys know, in 2020, which was last year. This is a picture of Justin Turner at the ring ceremony. So they've had over 6 World Series wins while they're residing in Los Angeles, and they continue to hopefully be successful while they reside in LA. So some of the changes that we can see in Dodgers marketing from here on out is making affordable ticket prices. This was pre-COVID, just because COVID prices do fluctuate right now, but this is what the prices look like before COVID. And as you can see, as you get closer to the field, it is more expensive. However, there are many more benefits you get, as you could get athlete signatures, or you can talk to a lot of different people, see a lot of different celebrities. And as you get further away from the field, it is very affordable. As you can see, it's $11 or even $25. This is a great way to attract more families to the game and hopefully increase ticket revenue from there. Other changes include merchandise. Dodgers hope to attract more fans to the game, where the fans who don't know much about baseball or don't know much about sports, they thought they would sign, they would create gear to help gain these fans to the game. So they signed a deal with New Era, and it's called the Dodger Streetwear. And they're hoping that, being that the people who love to wear this, that they would end up attending the game, and this would increase the fan base as well. Another change is the promotional schedules. As you can see, promotional schedules are very important to the Dodgers, and it is an assorted effort that the team has promotions. As you can see, smaller promotions do occur during the week, while larger ones do happen on weekends. But there are a great amount of promotions, like Friday Night Fireworks is a great time for people to attend the game and then have a fireworks show right after. So they've come up with a lot of different ways to attract fans and families to the stadium. And one of the biggest things that we may see in the future is the technology advancements that they plan to have at the stadium. So this is a picture of the gondola. They plan to have a gondola that will take fans and hopefully lessen traffic on the streets. So they will take fans from the Union Station straight to LA, or vice versa. And they plan to utilize this in the upcoming years. Some of the references that I chose that were most important to me throughout my paper and most important to me throughout the presentation is the Dodgers setting a new home attendance record in 2019. Also, my personal interview with Hunter Kondo. He is someone who works for the Dodgers right now, and he actually has my dream job. He is the creative content manager for the Dodgers, and he was able to give me a lot of insight on what the marketing looks like in the upcoming years and what his basic duties are as that job position. So it was very insightful, and I appreciated his time in that. Also, the last article is Inside the Dodgers, how they plan to revolutionize the fan experience, and what it might look like at the stadium in the upcoming years and what we might see when we attend games. that is my entire presentation. I appreciate everyone's time here for watching and tapping into my presentation. Again, I appreciate Dr. Barlow for helping me get through this paper and helping me practice for this presentation as well. So thank you guys for your time, and I hope you guys enjoyed the presentation.